You guys know what time it is, but I bet what you don't know is that it's a very, very special edition of GBQC. See, earlier I broke down some of the issues that I have with the structuring of the offense. And I know the offense, everything sucked on last Sunday, right? Everything was pretty garbage last Sunday. But I got the pencil out again. We're going to go into the back cave. I'm going to bring my friend G. Bush, bona fide, former D1 defensive tackle. Okay, so he knows his stuff. G. Bush from 92.3 and also G. Bush from GBQC, every weekend.
Let's get it, man. This is very special. Listen, I'm a big fan. It's nice to talk about, we got your opinions, but I think it's very important sometimes to set aside the opinions and get to the X's and O's and get to the nitty gritty, because to me, this is where I love the most. I love it the most. I love talking about, what we could have did better, or Baker prognosticating, but this right here is it's teaching moments in here for this film, and we just trying to break this down for some of the more in-depth type guys and listeners who like to know what's going on the field behind the scenes.
Definitely. And by the way, we're going to do 5 plays on this channel. We're going to do the other 5 on G. Bush's channel. So make sure you subscribe to both so you can check out both when this drops Sunday morning at 7:30 in the morning.
Pre-game, get ready to go.
We're gonna fix the defense. Then we're gonna get this delivered to Joe Woods and the defensive staff, and they're gonna make some adjustments. And then we're gonna beat the Lions, right?
Let's do
it. Let's actually get started. I'm gonna put the film up right here, and this is gonna be the first. By the way, what we're doing here is very specific. We're going through. Most of these plays are third downs for the Cleveland Browns. Their biggest issue, right? Third down. Now, some of the problems on third down is that they get too aggressive, right? Joe Bush.
Joe Bush. That's what his name would be if I was the defensive coordinator, because I'd be blitzing every play, aggressive.
But yeah, Joe Woods, he likes to act like he's going to get aggressive here. You notice on this play, what we have here is called a flat look, where they have 6 dudes on the line of scrimmage. You're showing blitz. You're trying to confuse them because you got a rookie quarterback there, right? Now, Mac Jones is actually pretty good at diagnosing defenses for a rookie quarterback. It's his biggest strength here. And what we're going to see here is Mac Jones identify what they're in from his film study and know that this dude ain't coming, right? JOK, he ain't coming. He know JOK about to slip back in this zone, and he knows that he has this route right here. And if he hits it real quick, he got a first down. And we're going to hit play on this. Let me get my mouse around. Oops. Yep. And we're going to hit play on this. And you can see exactly what I'm saying. Watch JOK. He identifies it. JOK bops out. No way he's going to cover that ground, right? And then slide into the spot in the zone. Boom. Easy money.
When you look at that play, when you run up against the line of scrimmage and you're doing that bluff technique, one of the things that you have to do is you have to move around a little bit. JOK has to move. If he knows that he's supposed to eventually get into the A gap to show blitz, why not line up outside on a 3 technique or 4 technique and move around and not be stationary, because it gives you more time to kind of confuse the quarterback. Right here, it looks like Mac Jones already has identified where this is supposed to go. And like you said, this is a good throw in the zone. There's no way he can get to this football.
And it's also a good gamble, right? Because one, even if he comes, that route opens up quick enough here, right? Where it's like 1, 2, he's already open by the time that Mac gets onto his third step. So even if he does come, unless your offensive line blows the protection, you good, right? And the fact that he didn't, and look, I don't think JOK did the right technique here. I don't think he got deep enough at all, because he could have got there and contested this, but I think he got lost in where this tight end was, because he was kind of watching the quarterback to see if he can go back up and make a play. And then, he ends up in the wrong depth. Gives up a first down. So that's a bad play on JOK. He could do better on that one. We're going to watch the aim zone angle. See this from the line perspective. And again, what G. Bush is talking about. He's still in the gap.
So right here, he's in the A gap. right? And if you're going to run this play, one of the things that you have to do is he has pretty good alignment right now. He's lined up where he's supposed to be, but he has to sell it more. He has to give me 2.5 steps forward before he can actually back off into coverage. Because what that does is it preoccupies the guard and it preoccupies the tackle because they don't know who's going to come. And if he baits him, gets 2 feet, 2 hard steps, and then retreats, there's a chance that maybe the defensive tackle can come open or the defensive end can come open because that guard is kind of preoccupied thinking he's going to come before he blitz and he backs up.
And it doesn't have to be get to the quarterback to disrupt the play, right? If he takes those 2 steps, kind of gets Shaq Mason out the way there, then you might be able to have a chance where instead of getting pushed all the way, you see how Malik McDowell gets pushed towards the center here by Shaq Mason. Now, again, Shaq Mason is a really good football player, but he gets pushed there. Maybe he's able to anchor more in that passing lane, and that whole passing lane doesn't open up so he can get a hand up and just back the ball at the line of scrimmage. Again, it's small stuff. It's the small details that really matter, but that's what we're here to talk about. So that was that play. G. Bush, I'm going to let this play, and then I want to know what your thoughts are on this one.
Yeah, we're going to get to this one. Let's see what we got. So they're motioning across the field on this one, trying to see if somebody follows them to see if it's zone or man. Looks like Ronnie Harrison is mirroring them right here. Once again, you still got 1, 2, 3, 5 guys coming into pressure. They ended up bringing 5. But as you can see, Mac Jones is on time with it. He knows and he understands they brought 5. And when you bring 5 right here, it's going to be a little difficult to not get home. If you're going to bring somebody, you got to get home. And then we look at the bottom of the screen. You can't get beat inside right here. Troy Hill gets beat inside on the slant, and it looks like he has inside leverage to begin with. So he gets beat on this, and I don't know if he has help. And you can see kind of Grant Delpit sneaking down, and he's just a little bit late on that robber technique. As you see Grant Delpit right now, he's not really reading it, and he's just a little bit too late. And he hit him with the slant.
Yeah, you're right on that one. Because that's a cover 1 look, right?
Yeah, and you know Grant Delpit, it does the right thing, but he's just a little bit late. And the thing is, you know, we've seen 2 plays in a row. Grant Delpit, for all intents and purposes, is a rookie. JOK is a rookie. Little inches here or there, right? You know, trust your eyes, trust what he's throwing, because in a couple years, I think what Grant Delpit would do in this play is he would already know and diagnose by looking at the slot receiver where this football was going, because he does stare it down a little bit. Grant Delpit just doesn't react quick enough.
And he half steps it too. He's trying to diagnose it right now, what's going on. By the time he catches on, when he sees where Mac's eyes are and where his body's going, it's just a hair too late there. And also, so I want to talk about the depth that Troy Hill gets here. He needs to get this depth here because he knows he has no inside help because Walker's gonna
blitzing, Walker's vacating the middle and he's blitzing on this play.
Yeah, so he knows that he probably can't just go get on the line of scrimmage like my man down here and just press him. It probably wouldn't be his best course of action. So he has that there. He's late too, right?
Yep. He takes a false step there. He in his first step, he doesn't really get any depth. As you can see, he's just almost still in his stance by the time he's running this route. And so you should know as that corner in the slot that you don't have any help inside. So you should be playing the slant. If you have John Johnson over the top right there, and he's at the bottom of the screen, you have help there if he wants to run a pivot route or he wants to run a whip route and come to the outside. But you don't have help in the inside. So he has to be very aggressive on making sure that he doesn't give it a free release inside.
This is what I love about the NFL. It's so tight when it comes to how athletic these guys are. This is what makes this play happen here, right? Troy Hill, he plants that outside foot. He's thinking, okay, I'm about to open my hips up,
turn and run,
and push him out because he thinks this is an out, right? And that half second from that hip flexing there,
he's there right there.
Push the other way. gives so much space in the NFL.
He knew he was dead.
Yeah.
This was completed immediately, and he could have got a little help. And so what Grant Delpit also has to understand is that's 3-step. Anytime the 3-step is there, if it's 1, 2, 3, boom, and he's ready and he cocked and ready to throw, you already know your eyes is already supposed to be transitioning to this receiver down here running the quick slant route.
And this is one where Joe Woods is punching air because he's in the right call, right?
He's in
They're
the right
going to
call.
go on that slant across the field. This is a call that the Steelers did to get a pick 6 on Baker Mayfield, where they threw right into the robber. And if Grant is just more alert on what's happening right here, right, where he's not worried about the run out the backfield, and he's just going to go and take that space, he could either be there or he should have, at the very least, have his head in that man's chest right now to pop that ball out.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's where just the little things, man. The little things make you go from all-star to dude getting yelled at on Twitter.
Yeah, and we'll give you credit. We'll give them credit. The first 2 plays we've seen, the Browns were in what they wanted to run. They had the right call made, but they had the perfect call for whatever they ran here just at the time. And you got to tip your hat to them.
What did this man? What was the? Hold on. What did they do to Miles on this leg?
Oh man!
He just shot at his legs.
Yeah, see 3-step, you're cutting right here.
Yeah.
So anytime when you run 3-step, they're gonna be looking to have a hi hat, and then all of a sudden they're gonna cut because they need to get their defensive ends hands. They have to get their hands down. So both tackles do a really good job because Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney got chopped all the way up on that.
Jadeveon Clowney did the worm, dog.
Yeah, he got chopped all the way up on his hand. Right?
O-R-M. Woo. Scotty too hot.
Come on, son. When a tackle is retreating like that, the first thing you're supposed to do is when you recut block, you take your inside hand, punch that shoulder, take your outside hand, punch the top of the offensive lineman's hand, and then what you're going to do is we call them using you up, right? Use him up. If they want to cut you, use them up, because guess what? You can't block nobody from the ground. If you miss a cut block, you're done, because the defensive end is still on his feet. And at this play, he could have, if Clowney does not get cut, he still has an opportunity to obstruct this throw in this throwing lane and make it a little difficult for him to throw the slant, because they throw the slant right behind where they cut him. So once again, good execution.
This Malik Jackson, this is the Malik's inside, right? Yeah. And here's the thing. Another thing you would have liked to see these defensive tackles do here, right? You in the middle, you getting decent push, but you so focused on your pass rush, 3 seconds in, get them hands up, man.
Facts.
Get those hands up, because if you get your hands up, this is really what the film session is, probably.
Yeah.
If you get your hands up right here, that's not completed.
And I don't know who's wrong on this play, but you got 3 people rushing the same doggone gap. Walker it looks like he's going to
like a lot of freestyling going on.
Yeah, it looks like a little. Okay, it looks like he was going to run a little stunt where he jabs upfield 2 steps and loops around to get to the backside BC gap.
Where Miles vacates.
But
they got the running back right there, so that wasn't even work.
And then you get shoved down all in one conglomerate. If this
nobody can't get their hands up, right?
If this is Lamar Jackson, he has multiple running lanes right here.
Yeah, and this has been a problem. And look, this is what we mean, man. The small stuff matters. A half step not taken by Grant Delpit. A couple of steps not taken by Grant Delpit. A half step off by Troy Hill, and just nobody able to get their hands up in the middle. First down. First down. That's the NFL right there.
And here's the crazy part about it. If you go look at Troy Hill, he does a great job of recovering. Because for the the TV angle, it looks like he's beat better than what he is. If you look at this, he still makes a really good play on the football, and he even has an opportunity to kind of shoot his hands and knock this thing away, as you can see right here. And he looks like he's trying to swat right there on that upfield arm, and he's in decent position. It just goes to show you, when you make false steps and you don't gain ground, it's very difficult to stop receivers to get to where they want to get to on their point.
Give credit to Mac Jones because this is a small thing, right? This is where I came away very impressed with Mac Jones. What does he do right there? He sees that he doesn't have great breakaway right there, so he gives him a high ball.
Mm-hmm.
High points it. So much harder for that DB to get hands and do the swipe technique without getting a pat. Because now, if he gets that hand on that shoulder and tries to do that swipe like a DB wants to, he's going to hit hands, pass interference, 5 yards. So that's going to be there. He knows what he sees right now is that, hey, that safety's late. I'm hitting him. High, boom.
And quarterbacks are 10 years ago, quarterbacks would have never thrown that football because you'd have ended up with your receiver in the hospital. You hanging him out to dry right here. If there's no helmet to helmet or defenseless receiver rule, right here, guys like Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu would have knocked his head off doing this. But quarterbacks are feel, emboldened to throw it like this because now Grant Delpit has no recourse. He can't hit him right here. You see what I'm saying? He has to go low. He has to make sure he doesn't contact him on his helmet. So the chances of him dislodging that football are really not that high with the way the new rules are.
Yeah, for the young people watching out there, it used to be a day where even if you catch that, even if the play's over, there are some people who made their career off of being really good at targeting. I think the last dude whose career was made off of that was probably like Dante Whitner.
Dante Hittner.
Yeah. When he was in San Francisco, not the one we saw here in Cleveland. That was not the same Dante Whitner. But when he was out there in San Francisco, that was Dante Whitner's job. What do you do? Target. That is all he did. Mike Doss is another dude.
He would put his helmet right up underneath your chin strap right there. That's all day. That was a given back in the day, man.
All right, man. Let's talk about this run game defense right here because it was atrocious. It was atrocious all game. This is worse to watch honestly than the pass coverage.
Oh man,
we just gonna let this play through. Tell me what you see. Your boy.
Rewind that, coach. This is how they used to be. Coach, rewind that, coach. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Your boy.
So yeah, I'm confused. If you run that back to the start of the play, it looks as if you look at the three technique. So basically, we say we have the three technique in the shade, right? Shade is in a he's in a 2-eye right there. We got a three technique backside, right? Mm-hmm. So it looks as if they're running some sort of stunt front side, in which the defensive tackle on the three technique is looping into the A gap, right? And so when you run the play, you can see why it happens and what it is that really gave up this play. Go ahead and play it. Pause right there. When you can't get pushed past your gap all the way, you overshot. And you went all the way from not being in the A gap front side to getting pushed back A gap all the way over in the other A gap, and you got walled off. You reached here.
Oh man, you're 77. Look like Wyatt Teller out there. Look at this. Look at this. Is that Malik McDowell? Who is that? Well, he lucky you can't see his numbers. Who's playing power end right here?
Who?
Oh, that's Odin Debo.
Yeah, we can see why they got their money off.
That's a 4th-string dude.
Yeah, we can see why they got their money off.
Oh, you see, he wasn't confident in his alignment. You see, he has that step there too, where he's like, "Ooh, should I be lined up here? Oh no, wrong spot." Never gets good hands and feet off of that. And then look, 71, 2. Oh my goodness.
So this is the devastating part about this is they never punched and got hands and made meaningful strikes against the offensive linemen. The offensive linemen are being the guys that got their hands up. Why are you running over here and giving your chest up? Also, it's a bad look by the three technique. Right here, if you go ahead right here, they're in pretty good position, right? Mm-hmm. They're in pretty good shape. Play it a little further. When you get to here, boom, they're in perfect position. This defensive tackle needs to take his hands, lock out on 69, and be stout and not give up any ground or leverage. Then when the ball declares, you want to shed them and be in there. But he's getting pushed past. He's getting washed here. You're getting washed down. And not only he gets washed down, the defensive end does the same thing. Instead of punching, keeping your arms free, and making a play by disengaging at the right time, y'all get washed past the play. And look at the hole it causes right here. Now you have 47, the fullback is ready to lead up on Taki. You got a seal, and all of a sudden this guy got a 10, 12-yard game.
47, like, dog, why am I even out here? Like, we gonna clear it up like that. But yeah, I think that's a great point that you mentioned. Let me highlight that on here, right? Because Gbqc mentioned a great point here. On that one, that's where you want, and I think that's what is that Malik Jackson?
I believe so.
Yeah, see, that's where Malik essentially plays a nose position here, because we don't put Andrew Billings on the field anymore because he's not very good. But what you want Malik to do is anchor, hold, and read, right? I know anybody who's ever watched a football coach, he's always doing, hey, that's what you want,
that's
right?
It.
Left,
that's
right.
It.
So
you punching and you're not giving up no space. But when you don't deliver hands, 77 and 69 had the first meaningful strike. Right there, he's controlled. Right there, you're controlled. You're all the way in the backside gap. And now 77 is controlling this, 69 is controlling this. And now you got Taki right here. Boy, now he has to make the play.
We got to appreciate the fat guys, though. I know he's a Patriot, but look at what 77 does in 2 strides. Look at this. Look at them long steps. This is technically, I don't think this is great position for 77, but he's just grown man's 57.
Yeah, he does. He knocked him. Oh my goodness. That he did it. He did that. And here's the thing. Taki does a damn good job of standing up the fullback. Look, 47 doesn't get any leverage on him. He comes and blows his play up right here. Now here's the problem. Look at Walker.
Wrong
gap, bro. If you seeing and you reading, and now the fullback is there, one of the things that you got to do is flash. You're going to flash and see gap, right? Boom. He's flashing and see gap. Anticipate when you get here. Boom. You play it a little bit further. Now you're scraping over the top. You've already forced a cut. You got to scrape over the top.
Way too early to that gap.
Good gracious. You declared before the ball declared. The ball has to declare before you get your pursuit angle. And so now
and he's made the decision right here.
Right there.
And look, the second he sees that, 38's a good running back. He sees that decision made. Pro athletes are amazing, dude. These are all intentional decisions that they're making. But look, he sees that Anthony Walker is coming down way too fast to do anything but fill that gap. So
he's simply what they call that in when you're playing is the backs recolor in the hole. You read what the other team is doing by the color of their jerseys, and he's seeing that, okay, we got a person that 3 guys on that side of the football. But here's the thing: there's no gap integrity, especially because the simple fact that the nose tackle gets washed all the way backside, which is unacceptable.
He on another hash now.
Yeah.
Elliott. That's Elliott.
Yep.
Yes, that's what it's been for him. And then even Ronnie, Ronnie could have made a play here, right? I get why you don't want to just run up there because you're the last line of defense, but he could have tried to be a little bit more aggressive, make a play here. Even he chose the wrong game. He out there with Anthony Walker, and he got readjust, and he gets lost in the play. Toby makes a tackle. This is not good stuff there on the D line.
No, at all.
All right, man. Let's talk about some of these slip screens, man. This is also infuriating.
There's a couple plays coming up here that's just, man.
Oh man, where do we start? Where do you want to start, man?
Man, I would go start it back at right here. Let's take a look at the formation, right? Mm-hmm. It looks as if, obviously, they got a little zone behind there. Look how far the corners are off. And now you have your front up here.
By the way, the fact that getting eaten on zone on some of these screens is ridiculous.
Even if it was man to man and you running people off and guys have their back turned and they don't know what's happening behind them because you're chasing the man,
that would be like, okay,
I get that. But this zone, you see it developing, right? So when you start this play, here's a couple of things it's called awareness by the defensive line. You have to understand and feel light pressure, right? Light pressure. If you know you ain't been winning all day, if you ain't just killing the dude in front of you, what make you think that you just ran upfield and it was just all gravy? Nah, they let you do that, homie. And as you see this, once you start to play it, watch Miles, pause it right there. They've already thrown the defensive tackles forward. Malik McDowell is thrown 5-6 yards in the backfield, and they don't even recognize the screen game, right? They just don't see it. And the problem with this is I don't see guys doing what we call retracing your steps. When you are trying to stop the screen, the first thing you're going to do is if you get 2 hard steps and you recognize there's a screen, you're supposed to turn and sprint in the same exact lane, retracing your steps to get back into this play. So you look at it, watch the 2 defensive tackles. Pause it right there. When they see it's a screen and field screen, those 2 defensive tackles should be retreating right now. Boom. Plant, turn, and run and find the football. But look how long it takes them. They never redirect. Nobody redirects.
And that's Jordan Elliott. That's Malik McDowell. That's Miles.
Nobody has redirected at this point.
Clowney ain't even. Well, they're actually blocking Clowney, so
which is and Miles Garrett got blocked too in this play.
Yeah.
So to be truthful,
like they're actually trying to block them,
but the D tackles, and that's another play that I have to give it up to the Patriots because as a defensive end, if they block you like this,
you got it.
You're regular. That's regular pass to me. I'm working my rush now, but. You notice who they targeted. We're going to target your 2 weaker defensive linemen, and we're going to see if they can think and run and react. Because here's the thing. If you did that against Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, they're athletic enough to run downfield and tackle that person, even if they get fooled on the screen. So they blocked them regularly and just let the defensive tackles go. And now you can kind of see in the zone, you now have 3 offensive linemen. And now you're under defenders. You have JOK, you got Ronnie Harrison, and you got Denzel Ward. And these guys are the guys that's going to have to make a play on 3 offensive linemen. Bad mismatch.
You have to ask Jordan Elliott, like, what do you think they was doing?
Where do you think the ball was going, bro?
They let you run free from the inside, and you didn't realize until the ball went over your head that was a screen?
And Malik McDowell is tripping. He ain't even under control. You're not even under.
Elliott trips him. Elliott trips him. Look.
Yeah, you're right.
He trips him.
Jordan Elliott,
he kicks him in the chest.
This don't look good. Bad rep, horrible rep. Now you hear
because look, Malik McDowell realized what went on because he's halfway downfield trying to haul butt to get back there.
You should have recognized that to start with. You 2 guys are completely wide open, right? They turn to retrace their steps. They turn and they hit this thing hit this thing for maybe a 5-yard completion. But
Malik gets kicked immediately right there. Look at this. Hold on, right here because line of scrimmage is 25. Look at this. He gets upfield, gets kicked immediately right when he gets past there. Has to recover from being kicked. And he knows that he needs to get back because he's trying to get back. This is a bad. This is, I don't know what Jordan Elliott's PFF grade is, but it must have been atrocious.
2.
It must have been atrocious. Bring back Andrew Billings, man. Damn.
Now he weaves his way.
We're gonna get out the young blood. Come on. All right. So That's one infuriating. Okay, this is another angle of it. It is another angle of it. Yeah, look, you see it clearly. They threw him.
You got thrown into your own man.
67 said, "Here, go to the quarterback," and he's thinking, "I'm God's gift."
You didn't feel him throw you?
He thought he had the world's strongest swim move. He got thrown into a different gap.
Man, this man is out here. He's like, yeah, man, I'm Warren Sapp. You ain't know? I'm John Randall. You ain't know? Look at these moves I got, bro.
67 doesn't even attempt. Look, Shaq Mason, he's a veteran. You can tell. If you look at him, he attempts to make this look like a block, right? He gets into a step. He hand fights a little bit. He hovers over him, and then he lightly pushes off of Malik McDowell. I can understand why Malik McDowell was fooled up until that point, right? Because it's good technique by Shaq Mason.
Yeah, he like, oh man, he thinking, oh, I'm working my rush. This is about to be a breeze. This right here, whoo,
my man, 67. Like Shaq Mason put into work to make Malik McDowell feel like he won. That's great offensive line artistry. 67 don't do none of that, and he still fools Jordan Elliott all the way. Look at this. Look at 67. He just threw him. He just threw him. He made no attempt. And Jordan Elliott he runs into his own teammate.
And then he
realized it's a screen.
And then he takes him. It takes him 6 minutes to get his feet on the ground and start the pursuit. Man.
And then he gonna block with 76, like he just so he can look like he's doing something.
And why would you engage with him?
Malik McDowell almost made the tackle. Hold on. Malik McDowell's a great athlete. Oh my god!
Yeah. By the way, this is a plus on the system. Like you got fooled, but you get a plus for.
I'm not mad at Malik McDowell after seeing this angle.
Yeah,
because you can see where he got fooled. Like Shaq Mason just veteraned him, right? That's just, I mean, I'm pretty sure your first day back in school, you had the veterans. The seniors, they do some stuff like this to you.
Yeah,
they feel like, oh, okay, this is different. But Shaq Mason did his thing on this one, right? Oh, the beautiful fake. Wow. Man, Jordan Elliott just came in there and just ran a pick play on the drawing team.
And if you're going to get up there, put your hands up. At least if you're going to be in his face, get your hands up, man.
He didn't even get the hands up, did he?
No. He got no hands up, and then he loafed.
Negative.
And then he loafed, and he changed. A loaf is a change at any speed. If you are pursuing the football and you have any sort of change of speed, that's a loaf. That's a loaf.
You 6'8". Use that length. No, yeah, I guarantee you. This is something he got. This is something they yelled about. If you watched them in this Detroit game, I promise you, they're going to have their arms up more than they did in this game because this is the second time, right? Second time a play could have just been stopped. You put your damn arms up. Miles put his arm up.
Yeah, Miles was there.
Miles is good at football.
For what it's worth, Ronnie Harrison does a pretty good job of reacting to this. He's already hot on the trail. And he kind of, right here it's a bad situation. It's a no-win.
Yeah. The best thing, and they caught you in a good look. They also caught you in a very good look. Like if the defensive tackles don't recognize this, it's over. Like because no linebackers on the field.
And Rodney Harrison, to be truthful, the only thing you really can do is you can try to be a wedge buster at this play, right? Yeah, usually, if you're a skilled dude or a defensive back, you try to hit him with your best basketball move and don't get touched, right? Because you can react and get back in position. Here, when you got three offensive linemen and you're here and you got a little outside leverage, that Denzel Ward I think comes up and he comes out and he's like, okay, I got leverage. So I'm gonna make this thing cut it back in. Instead of Rodney Harrison throttling down, he has to make that play declare quickly, which means run as fast as you can and blow these two dudes up. You might get dog walked, but it still gives you an opportunity to not give the running back an option of a two-way go, and you're backpedaling trying to get off a play because that'll never work.
And by the way, a wedge buster, it refers to, for those who don't know, it's a special teams term. I don't know if they do it anymore because they'll be
Nah,
putting
it's
offensive
outlawed.
linemen on the wedge. Yeah, it's outlawed. But it used to be pretty much kickoffs. You'll see offensive linemen kind of like they used to chain link them in college where they would link up. And Ronnie Harrison's job, if he was a wedge buster, would to be run in there and break that wedge so somebody else can get through.
Kamikaze game.
Yeah, so you can do exactly what G. Bush is saying, right? Because what G. Bush wants him to do is you don't got to be right on where he's gonna go. You just gotta make him go somewhere so that my man John Johnson can figure out where he can go a little earlier, right? Because if Ronnie crashes in hard here, makes him have to cut around. That makes his life a lot easier. That makes Malik McDowell's life a lot easier. Then you can stop this play before it gets to the two. But that's a hell of a thing to ask little Ronnie Harrison to do.
I mean, that's a difference. I mean, you asking him to take on the heart of a double team, and kind of blow it up. So
them guards, them thick boys, the guards are thick.
And you see what they did
tackles
to
at home.
line? Do you see what they did to Jordan Elliott? You see how they do? He like, I don't know about this.
He like, I'm gonna have to. And by the way, I think they're already down by like 20. You're gonna have to let him win that one. You know what I mean?
Y'all got it. Y'all got it. He comes up and he kind of patty cakes with him a little bit.
He tried.
Yeah, he tried.
He's trying to be on injured reserve.
And I expect a little bit more out of John Johnson too. I mean, that's a receiver on a safety. If a receiver on the safety, you trying to block him, I need you to put him in the first seat of the stands. That's supposed to be done data. You ain't about to come up and block me right here. He should have ran right through 16, right? He knows he has to establish. You have outside leverage to the outside. I would have took the gamble and said, listen, I'm going to take the inside leverage, and they would have probably stopped him 10, 12 yards earlier. But like we said before, it's kind of difficult. It's a difficult ask when you have the, three linemen up there moving around in the open field.
Grant's you can see at the top of your screen, Grant's having a hard time knowing when to control his speed. Because he comes here so fast that he ends up out of position almost.
Yeah, he
almost takes himself out the play.
Yeah, super facts.
Yeah, and by the way, man, good God, Malik McDowell almost makes his tackle before John Johnson can even get there. My goodness, it's ridiculous he got there. Malik McDowell, somebody you probably need to resign. To be honest with you, I like him.
I mean, what you mean? He definitely getting a check. Like we're already going to probably be without Clowney. We cannot afford to go back to just Myles Garrett.
Yeah. All right, this is going to be the last one on this part. We're going to look at a halfback toss. This is another play that was killing us. No surprise on the edge. All right, G, we're going to let this run, and then you lead us on the way.
So right now, one of the things I'm thinking, even in this formation, when they first line up, and you'll see it here coming up here as we, let it play out a little bit right here. So the first thing that you should be aware of is, as a outside defender, right? JOK is at the line of scrimmage right here, right? So, he has a guy on the outside of him. We were always taught that a down block, especially to the wide side of the field, you got to always be looking for a crackback block from either receiver or a receiver blocking down in order to get the edge. So right here, if I'm looking at, I have outside leverage in that C gap, my antennas are always up because I'm thinking if it's a run play under the center, I got to keep outside leverage on this play. And so that's pre-snap recognition, and you can see where everything go awry. As you play it a little further, right? So now they bring a guy in motion. So what they're doing is they're preoccupying your eyes. They hold the backside defensive end because they run jet motion back to the boundary. Now, what they also did is they kind of clear out some space out there. So there's two natural down blocks. As you can see, John Johnson is already, physically next to the receiver, and he has an angle on him, right? And so JOK should be alerted, hey, the down block is coming. And they should also be communicating. John Johnson's supposed to say, down block coming, down block coming. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for that, pointing to it. And so now you have leverage. So JLK is blocked. John Johnson is being blocked down on. And now you have Greg Newsome once again lined up on a big boy in order.
Greg Newsome.
And he has to turn this thing in. So as you keep going, you stop it right here.
He almost does it.
That's a great job of him turning that thing back in. It's a great job of him turning that in, because right here, boom, if you stop it, he's done his job. He's done his job. The problem is, look at John Johnson and JOK in a pile. So you ended up with
Walker in there too.
Yeah. Seal, and now they got an alley to run.
He has to come back on top. Yeah, man. Small stuff.
Man, it's rough. I'm interested to see what diagnosis the linebackers had on this play, because if I'm looking,
let me fast forward back all the way. You want to watch the linebackers? Because they on the line finish right here, right? It's 22. It's that nickel package, I'm guessing.
So, Anthony Walker is there. He has backside on this play. And when you play it, oh, boy. Rewind that a little bit again. So let me show you. Look at the defensive tackle, to both of them. They're in the gaps, right? And this play is successful because they both are on the ground. Yeah, watch the two cut blocks here. Two cut blocks. They never get their hands up. They never punch. Boom. You're out of the play, son. You got reached. You cannot get reached in that gap. You can't do it. You're on the ground. Malik McDowell, you're reached. But you know what the thing about Malik McDowell is?
He did a good job staying on his
feet. He didn't really get hit. He didn't really go down. Look at the balance this big boy got. Hand to the
he
hat.
Recognized it, got wide, did what he's supposed to, right?
Used him up. Look how low he is. Used him up. Now he can pursue. Now the problem is Myles Garrett on this play got reached as well.
Got held too.
Yes, he did.
Oh, yeah.
So Myles Garrett,
he's probably supposed to be out here helping.
He's in C gap. The Myles Garrett is lined up in C gap. He has C gap. You can't get reached like that. You're reached. JOK is on the ground right here.
By the way, 67. No, he held too, because look how look at that bear hug. He know what he did, and then right when that referee sees him, no, I ain't do nothing. What are you talking about? And then it's just a mess. The linebacking is just a mess right here. Right.
I don't know. And
JOK got caught up. I think was that a tight end?
Yeah.
Was that a wide receiver?
I think it was a wide receiver blocked down on him.
Nah, somebody was on the line. Oh yeah, it's a number one. It's a wide receiver.
Yep. And if you look at it, what is John Johnson doing here? So he looks like he's stuck right here. He knocks him away. And if you keep playing it, why would you run
into the pile?
Like JOK is engaged with the man in front of you. Why wouldn't you just run laterally to the line of scrimmage and meet him at the junction point? Why would you get engaged with that? That's a bad angle by him. That's as a safety, that's a horrible angle.
It's kind of been the theme with John Johnson's run here so far.
That's a horrible angle. I mean, because think about it. Right here, he's already disengaged. That guy's out of the block. All you got to do is run down the line of scrimmage and meet him, but you run in the back of JOK and take yourself out of the play. I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just like the other play. It's like, hey, Greg did his job. Malik kind of did his job.
Greg Newsome did a great job right here. He pulled this thing up. He made it spit. He made it actually, come back and cut back into his safety. But your safety just didn't. Your safety just didn't. Didn't take a good angle. Myles Garrett gets. Actually, hold on. Did he get reached? Myles Garrett is. Yeah, you got reached. Yeah, you got reached.
Yeah, he didn't get his hands out.
Yeah, you got deliver a punch. But Myles Garrett is so good. He still was in the backfield.
He still was upfield.
He's Myles Garrett still, right? Yeah. Still upfield. And Malik McDowell, that's textbook right there. That's textbook. Look how you run clinic tape off that.
Yeah, you can tell the difference with, look, if you don't think there's a skill gap between defensive tackles, this play shows you the skill gap between defensive tackles. 3rd round pick, Jordan Elliott. 2nd round pick, Malik McDowell. Should be a 1st rounder, but he had all the Mitchells coming out of Michigan State. This is what a 1st round talent looks like.
Punch and pursue.
Look at
right?
that.
You use him up. If they want to cut you as a defensive lineman, you're supposed to welcome that all day and twice on Sunday. You're an athlete. The only difference between D lineman and O lineman is we athletes. We can play basketball over here. If they want to dive at your legs, tell them that's not going to get it done. He goes to cut him. Watch his left arm punch. Controlled right there. Neutralized. And he saw the play through. Look at his base right here. That's all squat. The reason we do squats is because look how low his hind end is right here. Use him up, hat down, watch him pursue laterally down the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Laterally. That's a beautiful play, man. That's a good play.
Yeah, they did their thing.
That's a good
Jordan
play.
Elliott is still on the ground.
And he's still getting abused.
He did not have himself a good one. He got cut. He thought he was going to get a free run, and then he ended up on the ground. And look, Malik McDowell almost had the ball. And then look, he almost made the tackle, but everybody ran into him. Oh my goodness. Look at this. All the linebackers on the field roll into him. He almost makes this if they aren't there.
He's there.
They block him.
Boy.
This is yakety. Boy. Look at this. JOK and Walker. Wow.
And I'm glad. And shout out to Ronnie Harrison. He actually did make the tackle on that. It could have got ugly.
All right, but that's it for part 1. And we almost went an hour on part 1. Part 2, we're going to do our thing. Get that Snyder cut. This is the best pregame you can get, Browns fans, because this is real breakdown. Not like a 5-minute cut-up breakdown on ESPN. This is pretty much the real deal experience. You could turn off your lights at home, put a clicker up, and throw this thing up on a projector and just act like we in the room with you, because that's what this is. We're gonna get
that's what it is, man. That's what it is. This is authentic right here. We're gonna give you the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns. So make sure you check, like this, man, for this real content, and make sure you go check out part 2 coming up in a little bit.
Gbqc's channel, go subscribe. Gbqc part 2 coming up now.